Hi, my name is Steve Gaynor. I am a cinematographer, director, and producer. I've shot numerous feature films, television series, commercials, music videos, documentaries. I've been in this industry for around 30 years, and it's been a great industry and a great run. Before I stepped into the AI space, specifically as the cinematography jobs in Los Angeles were spiraling down into practically none, I was really getting bored sitting around and waiting for someone to call. You stare at the phone all day long and nothing happens. So I was browsing around and I noticed the job with Micro One, and I filled out an application and I immediately got a gig, which was fantastic. I found Micro One through LinkedIn. I was looking through their pages one day and saw on the job board the Micro One application. I filled it out, and right away I was hired into a project. Well, I've done human interviews before. I really enjoyed interviewing with Zara. Zara is like nothing else. First of all, it doesn't have emotions. So you're not dealing with a human sitting across from you in a desk that might react in a way to some nuance that I say that really has nothing to do with who I actually am. Zara graded me on my answers and on my knowledge. And I felt like even as I was working with Zara and answering her questions, that Zara was actually learning from some of my answers also. And I was actually training Zara as Zara was interviewing me. It was a very interesting process. I really enjoyed it. I would say what stood out to me that we contrast with interviewing with a human was the lack of emotion that was in the interview. It was strictly business. It was straight down to the answers, whether they were right, wrong, or maybe in between. And also, Zara actually on my interview made a slight mistake when it asked me questions about setting cameras up in the morning. And I corrected Zara and it thanked me. And I could tell that it had now learned that aspect of what I do and I had trained it on that portion of my daily routine. When I'm training and evaluating the models, I reflect back on all of my experiences, all of those years of late nights standing out of the cold, all of those years of sitting in front of a monitor or sitting behind the camera. All of those feelings and all of that experience is actually combined into me and my career and what I do. That is what I draw from when I'm training the AI. That is directly what I'm trying to impart into the AI are those experiences so that it can understand what it means to be a cinematographer. The tasks that I implement into the process with the AI are multi-level. They are the art form of lighting and composition. They are also budgetary things. The cinematographer directly impacts the budget by how quickly they do their job, uh, the equipment that they rent and utilize on the job, and the personnel that they hired to do the job. So each of these things is an important aspect of what I do. So it's vital that the AI understand that a cinematographer is not only just capturing images and giving the director exactly what he wants. The cinematographer is also interfacing with producers, assistant directors, production designers, all at the same time in order to get the final result. It makes me feel really good to know that my years of experience, when I'm no longer around, won't be lost. They're going to be preserved in the AI. The AI is going to be taking decisions that I've made and the experiences that I'd had and utilizing them in the future in, I assume, making films, making commercials, All of these things that I've been through, the AI is able to go through those and make qualified decisions in order to make quality products. Well, I really haven't noticed anything that AI is doing in the motion picture industry currently. Look around me. Um, I think that it is a viable tool at the moment to be utilized, especially in situations where a production can't necessarily afford to spend millions of dollars in post production on certain effects. I think that the ability to be able to prompt something into reality is a major advantage. Now, will this ultimately replace filmmakers and will it become the way that movies are made? I think to a small degree, yes. But I think that people are always going to hunger for the human element, which is the heart of filmmaking. And I think that will maintain, if not forever, at least for a very long time. But in the interim, I do think that AI filmmaking will proceed and will take over a certain portion of the industry. And from what I've seen, it does it very well. This has impacted the way that I approach filmmaking because on a recent project that I produced and was the cinematographer on, there were certain aspects of it that I knew I would be replacing with AI. And I did. And it saved me time and money. It actually worked very well. And I haven't had anyone say to me, "Oh, is this part of it AI?" It's how you use the tools. If you use them blatantly and kind of in your face, well, they still have a little bit of lack of naturalness or of AI-ness. But if you use them as background elements or as diffusion elements or as something that people aren't necessarily focusing on in the scene, you can get away with it already. And it saved me hours and hours of production time and travel time and lots of money by utilizing the AI tools that I currently use to combine in my project and made the project better. I think the only way that AI is ever going to truly replicate the human experience will be if a human is prompting and or manipulating the AI so that it gets the realistic and natural sort of reaction out of the AI that you want. I don't know that AI on its own will be able to 100% make the human experience a reality. I think it's going to still take humans, i.e. directors probably and or producers and writers that are invested in the project and understand the emotion of a particular scene. Let's say it's a love scene in order to get the AI to do exactly what it is that the script is calling for. I don't know that the AI on its own will be able to interpret that. It might attempt it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it will nail it. Just like right now, if I want to generate an image, and when I go to generate that image, I might have to generate it two, three, four times to get what it is that I want. I think the same is going to be true in AI filmmaking, and I think it's going to take a human element to watch over that and to deliver the final end result. I think AI is a tool that enhances human creativity. I think it's something that needs to be utilized just like any modern technology is utilized. I think that it is not necessarily a danger of replacing all humans in the filmmaking process, but I do think that it is a very useful tool. Uh, like I had said previously in the previous answer, uh, as far as advancing things that ordinarily would cost an extreme amount of money and making them possible on very little money, frankly, on your laptop at home. So I think that it is a very, very useful tool, but I don't see it as something that is going to entirely replace humans in filmmaking. Well, thinking about my career in retrospect already sounds like AI is taking over my career, but I think that, looking back over what I've done in my career and all the films that I've made, the series that I've worked on, and the amazing experiences that I've had, it's clear to me that there are things that the AI will never experience that I've been able to. Going to those locations and being in those situations with other humans and sharing those experiences is something that the AI itself will never get to understand. That being said, will it be able to make images that are comparable to those that I made at that time? Of course it will.